Okay. We are back. We're back for another episode. Guys, hi. Welcome to the Mindset Lounge. This is supposed to be a solo episode today, but we have Callum in the building.
In the house. Why am I
Callum
here?
is my partner, if you don't know already. But Callum is here because I have about 3 brain cells. And that is because I am in peak week.
Surprise.
Surprise! When this comes out, I'm going to be in peak week for the New Zealand Pro.
It's coming up.
How exciting! I can't believe
Out
I
of
haven't
nowhere.
even said anything. I can't believe I've kept this a secret this whole time.
Yeah, I've struggled because people always ask me, what are you doing? And I always go to say, you're about to do New Zealand. I'm like, oh, no, we got to keep it a secret. Until now. Now I can finally let everyone hear about it.
It's actually interesting. I've felt like a bit of a liar.
Yeah.
Like when somebody asks me, how many weeks out are you? In my head this whole time, I've thought, okay, New Zealand's 3 weeks before Japan, but I've had to tell everybody Japan because Japan has been the show that I've like announced. And it's been the one, well, to be fair, it's been the one I've been the most excited for the whole time because it's like the big show.
Yeah.
Like Japan's like the show. But every time anybody asks me how many weeks out are you, I've got to be like, New Zealand. Okay, what plus 2? I'm like,
3.
yeah, plus
Well,
3, plus 3. And it's yeah, it's actually been, I feel like I've been a little bit of a liar.
Yeah, well, now it's out there. We can just freely speak without trying to catch our tongue. I forgot. So I don't actually remember. Did you decide to do Japan first or New Zealand first?
Well, I mean, to be fair, I was actually just looking at interestingly, I just had a look at my goals that I wrote down when I pulled out of last prep. So the whole journey this year has been like, essentially I was doing Miami, I was doing America mid-year, like May, I think actually, early start of the year. And then we pulled the plug on the prep at 10 weeks in, 6 weeks to go, I think it was. And so then when I was writing out my goals for the rest of the year at that time, I had actually written Europe. So
That's right.
I had the idea of doing Spain and Prague and stuff, which is happening like literally just this weekend. And so my plan was to do Europe. And so I don't even know where Japan came from, but I think Japan was definitely the show that we had sort of like picked. And then we had a look around what was sort of before it, what was after it, and New Zealand popped up. And I think as soon as we sort of realized New Zealand was close, because New Zealand's such easy travel, that we sort of went with that one.
People do it all the time. I always see people doing secret preps and then last minute dropping the bomb. Like, I'm competing now. But it changes person to person. But what do you reckon the main reason is you decided to keep New Zealand secret?
Well, yeah, I think I almost was tempted to do a whole secret prep, but I like sharing and I like sort of giving like what I do out online, but I wanted to keep a little part of it for myself this time. Like I think it's always been, you do a prep and you almost like capitalize on your prep by like posting all about it. Everyone's following along. It's really like you can really capitalize on it and like use the excitement for like business. And that's been good. But I wanted to like not capitalize on the prep on the show. And I wanted to like just literally just do it like completely for the show, for me.
Do you feel like there's less pressure?
Yeah, there's been a lot of less pressure, but I guess the pressure's been a different, like, I don't know if the pressure has, the no pressure has come from the fact that I haven't told people about the show, or if it's already like I've kind of relinquished that pressure anyway. But yeah, I think like doing this show for me has been the most like, that's the biggest reason. But Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited.
You seem more at peace this prep compared to others, which I think is probably different because of that. Like we spoke about before, that I think you and I are different. Your pressure, or sometimes even external motivation, comes from external pressures, like I guess comparing to other people or trying to live up to expectations of other people. Whereas mine's always been internal, trying to almost like prove it to myself and make myself feel like I'm like solidifying what I'm doing. But this time around, it's sort of switched, and you seem more, I don't know, a bit more at peace, or at as much peace as you can be in a prep.
It's different. I don't know. It's weird. Like I think the my whole life I was doing bodybuilding for one thing. Obviously, I love bodybuilding, but it's always been like for external validation to like prove that I'm a good bodybuilder or that like I can, beat other people and being competitive. I've always been competitive, but I think I've also, I've also sort of always wanted to do it for the external validation. This prep's been different though. Like I've been more at peace with myself probably, but I think I've felt a different kind of like pressure in terms of I don't know, it's just felt different.
Well, pressure is good. It's just like finding what that right balance of pressure is without it being overwhelming. I think you probably found it more this time compared to in the past. And obviously, outside of pressure, like this whole prep's been different for various reasons. Like coming from pretty much majority of this year being fully in prep, pretty much the majority of the whole year being in prep, and like the fact that you're doing it for different reasons makes a big shift in your mental, I feel, and the way you go about things. But I can see it differently.
Yeah, that's good. I think it's yeah. I mean, I was prepped at the start of the year for like 10 weeks. Then I went into a maintenance phase for like, I don't even know how long. And then, we sort of prepped again. And this is week like 16 of this prep. So it's been 26 weeks of the year, which is exactly half of the year in prep. And then the between was just completely maintenance. So it feels like I've been in prep for a long time too.
What's this now? Essentially your fourth prep?
Yes, this is like my third season competing and my fourth prep.
Well, we have the first one you did ages ago. COVID hit, cancelled it, 2020, which was like an ICN thing. Then the next prep, which was cancelled because of COVID again, which I was prepping with you. Then there was the one where we both prepped and competed together, your first show. Then you went pro, and that's it, isn't it? Then this one. And then I guess half of a prep, postpone.
Yeah.
Then this one.
Well, so technically this is like my sixth prep then. My sixth prep, but my third season of
50-50.
shows.
Yeah, true.
So half of my preps have not actually made it through to
But doesn't that make it more rewarding? Like, don't you think? I was thinking about it with our mate Dashi the other day. He did so many preps and he went pro, which he deserved. But like, how much more rewarding would it be for him than someone who just like went and got their pro card within their first couple of shows? I guess like I sort of did. Like I found it rewarding, but when you have all these setbacks and then you finally get it, it's got to mean so much more, I feel.
Absolutely. And I think that's why I wanted to do this New Zealand show as like a secret, because I've had so many, like I've had so many setbacks this year alone, but in my journey, it has, I guess on paper, looked pretty smooth. Like I got my pro card in my second season of competing. My first show, I won True Novice and Novice, and then I came like third in the Open. So on paper, my bodybuilding career was pretty smooth of like, did a show, won, came back next year, won the pro card.
On paper, but people don't see everything else.
Yes, and that's the thing, like behind the closed doors, it's been a massive, massive journey. There's been probably more lows than highs. There's been a lot more self-doubt and struggle than a lot of people realize, I think. And this year alone, like, I mean, we haven't even, we ourselves haven't scraped the surface of telling people what's gone on in our personal lives this year and the struggles that we've been through. So the fact that like, yeah, just making it to the stage has felt like, well, is going to feel like a really big achievement. And I think that's the number one reason why I wanted to keep New Zealand a secret, because I just feel like getting on stage, that's all like I need to do at this point. I can't believe that 50% of my preps have not fucking gone through.
Well, out of anyone who's like any guests on your podcast or anyone that watches, I'm probably the only person that actually has seen what's gone into it all. And I think it's important to like let everyone know that like, yes, it looks like, oh, I just cruised through, did well on my first show, then went pro, then my pro debut. Cool, easy. I'm tough. I'm strong. It's easy. But no one else sees what goes into it. Like the setbacks, the mental battles that we all sort of go through. Like, I think it's important to know that no matter how put together you look and anyone looks, like everyone's got their own struggles. So everyone, like, don't feel alone if you got your own struggles, because we're all sort of dealing with stuff, no matter how easy it looks.
It's interesting as well. Like I feel a lot of like still now, I feel a lot of shame or guilt around having those struggles, because we have these identities, right? And I talk about this all the time on the podcast of like not fitting yourself into a box and not having this identity of being one certain way. And I almost like now feel like I have this identity of being this like really, inquisitive, mindset focused, like strong person. And so it almost feels like, yeah, I do feel a little bit of like that guilt and shame of like, I've struggled. And
no one becomes like a strong or mindset focused or knowledgeable person without the setback. Like anyone who's gone through, or anyone who's seen some form of success, like they're not just cruising through. So it's the way it is. You got to go through that stuff, and that's where it comes from.
Yeah, definitely. And that's what makes, that is what makes us, that's literally what makes us stronger in our mind, is the hardship.
And then through every prep you do, you deal with the last prep struggles and you're stronger, and now you're 10 times stronger than you've ever been through any prep. So really this is like your best state you've been in because of all the other experiences. And there's obviously a lot of differences, but what else is different about this prep, do you think?
This prep is, it's interesting because I feel like in my head right now, exactly where I am right now, entering peak week, New Zealand Pro, like it's going to be my pro debut. I feel like I actually was just talking to Bridget about this the other day. Like I've struggled the last few weeks. I've actually had a really rough, I feel like I'm going to cry because I think about it. But like it's been a hard few weeks, and it's been like, I don't know, physically. I knew I was going to cry thinking about it.
Peak week's here. The tears are here. That posted the other day. Looking shredded, looking jacked, and there's tears. That's what prep means.
That is peak week. And it's almost like I feel like I didn't want to come onto the podcast today and be like upset, because I'm like, no, I'm supposed to be like a pro and I'm supposed to be strong and I'm supposed to be like excited. But like,
you're not supposed to be anything.
Yeah.
You just got to be what you got to be. Just be you. And letting yourself feel whatever you feel. It's like living, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Tears aren't bad as long as you're not being a sook 24/7.
I've actually had prep's been rough. Prep's been hard. And it's been hard. Like it's felt, I'm looking at my last prep through rose-colored glasses, but I feel like it's been harder than last prep. And I think there's been many different factors for that. One being that this is my first ever natural prep ever. And that's got like its pros and its cons. Many, many, many more pros. So many more pros. Couldn't even believe, like, I would never ever go back. But it also has had its differences of like, I've probably actually had to push a little bit harder than I've ever had to push before. And also just like juggling business and life and like the different place that I am emotionally and like spiritually and like mentally. I'm in a completely different place than I was last prep. And so it's been better in so many ways, but a lot harder in so many ways as well.
Yeah, but you won't believe it because prep brain doesn't let you think that. But you by far are the best you've been physique wise. Like you're the leanest you've ever been. You got the most muscle you've ever been. So whether it be natural or not, whether it be setback or not, whether it be whatever state you're in, you're the best you've ever been. But the funny thing about prep is your mind never lets you see that until you look back. The only
And
person that sees it is the people around you and your coach.
this isn't a very accurate depiction of what a prep, like this is a very accurate depiction of what peak week and prep looks like, right? Like you can be the strongest person, you can have the best mindset, your physiology at this point in prep just makes your mind go a bit funny.
Like I think one thing about you that I've told you before is that you are like an emotional person, which is not a bad thing. But the good thing and the strong thing about you is you don't actually let it affect how you act. I feel like your emotions becoming more emotional or whatever is only a negative if you let it like actually stop your work ethic and your diligence and your just discipline in what you're doing. And although like times like now, sometimes the emotions get to you, like the only reason it would be something to feel negatively towards is if it stopped you from doing the work. What I
Yeah.
know about you is, yes, you'll let the emotions come and take over, but you don't let them actually take over your actions. You sort of let them pass, dwell on them for a short period, and then you just keep getting the work done. And I
But
think it's important to know like that form of emotional occurrence is not bad. It's only when those emotions take over your actual actions and make you
yeah.
sort of cave into them.
And I think like I spoke about this with Phoebe on the podcast, and she spoke about that like this prep, she wants to feel the emotions. And I think that's also a really important thing, is like to let yourself feel the emotions. Like let yourself have the ups and the downs, and don't just completely numb everything out, because when you start to numb like you numb the any emotion that pops up, you sort of are numbing the highs and the lows. And so like I am one of those kind of people that will feel those emotions and feel those lows and those highs, but I would rather that than be completely numb to it all. And I think like when I look at this prep as a whole, like I have felt all the feels, and especially in these last few weeks I have, and I think like I've probably started to beat myself up a little bit about it, and felt a little bit too guilty and upset and like mad at myself. I know I was saying to you the other day, like I'm feeling really angry at myself for feeling this way. And this is actually this is what I was saying before I started crying, that I said to Bridget the other day, like I feel annoyed at myself for struggling. Like I said to Bridget, I'm so mad at myself for it being hard. And like it's going to be hard. It's going to be tricky. There's going to be parts that are shit, and there's going to be parts that you feel you're going to feel sad, or you're going to judge yourself, or you're going to compare yourself, or you're going to be tired and hungry. And like that's okay, but you decide whether or not then you wallow in it, like you were saying. You decide whether or not you let those emotions completely take over and control you, or you let those emotions come up and you let those feelings come up and you let that pain and the hunger and the tiredness and the struggle come up, but you don't let it like completely take over.
Yeah, feel the emotions, but don't let them control you. That's the way it is. And
Yeah.
you always do that. You'll let your emotions sort of fly and just sort of let them flow out, which is great as long as you're not letting them stop you from doing the work, which you never do. You always bounce back stronger than ever.
Yeah.
Just let them sit. And I feel like if you just sort of let your emotions out, they'll probably last a lot less time than they would if you sort of tried to resist them.
Definitely. And even like as Bridget said, she's like, Morgan, like you're allowed to feel tired. You're literally 1.5 weeks out.
Yeah.
Like, because I guess because I've got this front of like, my whole, what I started this prep, with this like mentality. And what I've learned this prep was that you can't, what you think it's going to be it's not going to be that way. So at the start of this prep, my whole motto was like, I'm going to do this prep. Everything that I decide to do and everything that I do and I'm told to do, I'm going to go in because I have this mindset of like, I want to do it. So like I put this on my Instagram and I preached this at the start that I'm going this whole prep. I'm going to do the things because I want to do the things. I'm going to go do cardio because I love doing cardio. I'm going to do my steps because I love getting steps. I'm going to train because I love to train. I'm going to eat this way because I love to eat healthy. And you know what? I've got to this point at the moment, this last few weeks, where I haven't wanted to. I have not. I don't want to go and get my steps. I don't want to go do cardio. I'm fucking tired. But like, I let myself then get really angry at myself and upset at myself because I started to resent those things. And then I think because I started to fight that, I resented it even more. And then I got really upset with myself. And then I started to mope about. And so what I've learned this prep is that like, you're going to have moments where it actually does fucking suck and you're not going to want to go and train and you're not going to want to go and do cardio. And that doesn't make you any less of an athlete or less of a human. It's not wrong. It's not wrong that I have had some struggles. It's not wrong that it's actually been hard. I've been hungry.
Yeah. Well, it was easy, boring, really. It was easy. It's just like going for a walk in the park. Like if you go for a walk in the park every day, nothing changes. You don't even notice you're walking. You like go from A to B and you're like, oh shit, I just did a walk. There's nothing to make it interesting and worthwhile.
Yeah.
It's hard. You're growing from it. You're learning from it. You're getting new experiences.
Yeah.
And the reward at the end is like, I work for this.
Yeah. I have written on our fridge, and I guess maybe it's to my detriment that I do that. I've got your mentality decides what's tough or not. And I think that I need to sort of rewrite this because I think your physiology when you're in prep decides what's tough or not. Your body fat levels are going to decide what's tough or not. I can't control that I'm hungry. I literally cannot control that my stomach is constantly rumbling. But my mentality can decide whether or not I suffer
Exactly. It's how
or
you
not.
perceive it.
And it can be tough. And I think that I've really beat myself up this prep for it feeling tough. And it can be tough, but you decide whether or not you suffer.
Yeah.
And I think that's where I was just trying to go with before is that like your body fat levels and your hunger and stuff, these things are going to control whether or not your training is hard. Like I think people go into the prep being like, or I went into this prep being like, you know, I always remind myself, David Goggins ran on broken legs. Like you can, you know, you shouldn't be complaining about your set being hard, but like it's going to be hard because your body is depleted. But then you decide whether or not you make that a big problem or you make that like, yeah, cool. Yeah, I'm fucking tired. I'm fucking hungry. Yeah, that's how it should be.
Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely think that that's been a big lesson for me, this prep, and a completely different experience that I've ever had to go through of like it being harder than I thought it was going to be. And for a little while, actually letting that get to me. And then realizing that like, okay, it's going to be hard. Like, because I've always been one to say like, yeah, I don't really get that like affected in prep. Like that's always been my motto of like, yeah, my energy doesn't get rocked. I'm always cool. And then this prep I've been like, holy fuck, I'm so fucking tired.
Yeah.
And it shocked me.
Yeah, but it's what makes you stronger. But this everything else, a lot of things have changed. Both between the two of us, our mindsets have changed. That we've found like almost a new balance and a new purpose for what we're doing. And that I think almost leads us to becoming more analytical about these sort of things.
True.
And then breaking it down. But
True.
how would you describe your balance? To me, it looks like your balance this prep has been more, I guess, in tune with gym stuff, business stuff, family, lifestyle stuff. What do you reckon?
Yeah. Well, I think we've both gone through such a big journey this year of finding ourselves outside of bodybuilding. And that's come with its own pros and cons as well, right? Like, yeah, this prep, I haven't been all or nothing, die hard bodybuilding either. And so I think that's also come with its challenges of that guilt and shame is popping up there. But this prep has been, I mean, this whole year has been all about me finding myself outside of bodybuilding. And one of the biggest things has been finding purpose and passion outside of bodybuilding as well. And this is all, I don't know, I feel really counterintuitive talking about this on the podcast. It feels really weird, but like I, for our whole relationship and our whole coming up in the bodybuilding world, bodybuilding gave us a sense of meaning and a sense of purpose and a sense of self. Especially for me, when I was in, so 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, for 4 years exactly, bodybuilding was my self. It was my sense of like who I am. It was what gave my life meaning. It's what gave me self-confidence. It's what gave me a sense of like purpose in this world. And this year, not only bodybuilding gives me that, my podcasts, my coaching, my relationships, and my hobbies outside of bodybuilding, they also give me a sense of purpose, meaning, sense of value, sense of self. And so I have derived my sense of like who I am as a person from multiple other things, not just bodybuilding this prep, which has made this prep really like fulfilling in other ways. But it's also made me feel, again, really guilty. And like I felt really, there's been a lot of, a lot of like guilt and shame around like not bodybuilding not being the center of my universe.
Well, like fitting the mold. We were both similar. We were both for a long time trying to fit the mold of bodybuilder. It's like bodybuilders do this, so that's what we're gonna do. Like it was like I am bodybuilder. Callum is a bodybuilder. Morgan is a bodybuilder. But now it's like I am Cal, you are Morgan, and we do bodybuilding. That's one part of our makeup. That's only one piece of the puzzle. We're like finding now that we're allowed to have our own blend of other skills, gifts, like interests and talents, all that sort of stuff, rather than being like bodybuilding only. I'm trying to fit into this. It's almost like bodybuilding is a big jigsaw puzzle, and us individually was like one piece of that puzzle, making up just one big thing. Whereas now we are our own jigsaw puzzle, and then bodybuilding is one piece of that puzzle. And we're like, okay, I'm going to put everything into this, but I'm also going to allow room for this and this and this and this.
Yeah.
And we've both been able to, I feel like it's funny because we're putting almost less pressure on the one thing, bodybuilding, and we're allowing room for other things. But if you look at both you and I, physique-wise, we are the best we've ever been. Progress-wise, we're progressing the best we've ever progressed with less actual full, like immersing in just bodybuilding.
Yeah.
Like you've tried some new things. I've got some other new things that I'm trying out as well. I think you and I both put a lot of time into business, the podcast for yourself. And I don't really know how it works, but by us allowing more of our, I guess, by us allowing ourselves to do other things, it's almost leading to bodybuilding to being progressing even better. I don't really know how that works. That's something I haven't really figured out yet. But
well, I think you put it perfectly in the what's your analogy with the grip? The
to break it down, like the less hard you grip, generally the heavier you lift. So if we think like a bench press, if you're gripping really hard and trying to press, yeah, you'll press pretty heavy. But if you're not gripping so hard, you're generally going to release tension, release stress, release pressure. You're going to perform better, and you're going to be able to actually press that dumbbell because all the pressure through your forearm is being relaxed. Therefore, more energy and pressure going into your chest, which is actually pushing it.
Yeah.
Same thing. If you're not gripping so tight and being so tense, all the pressure on external things dissipate.
Yeah.
And then the actual energy goes into what you're actually doing, and you're almost just letting your energy flow and just, yeah.
And that's exactly how it is with our life, right? Like, I think we spoke about this on the last podcast in the sense that, like, when you have stress over nailing the little things, you actually are stopping yourself from nailing the little things. Because, like, so for example, you and I, when it comes to sleep, we used to have like anxiety if we were out past our bedtime. Like, we would seriously panic
Yeah.
so much. We would be stressing ourselves out like crazy. And so then we'd like be rushing home, we'd be panicked, we'd be like stressed, we'd probably fight, we'd probably have an argument, we'd be like stressing out because we need to, well, it's past our bedtime.
And
But
we'd
like
get the sleep in, but
we'd get
the
the sleep
stress
and
would
then
make the sleep shit
yeah,
quality.
it'd be bad quality sleep. We'd be anxious. And then even if we did get the 8 hours sleep, the fact that we had 2 hours anxious beforehand because we were trying to get home to be,
Yeah.
we would then fuck our sleep up. Whereas now, like if we're 2 hours late, if we're out and we have a late night, we're so chill. And the fact that we're so relaxed and so at ease with that means we're going to have a better quality sleep. Even if it's 6 hours compared to 8, it's probably a better 6 hours than better quality 6 than it was an 8.
Same with meal timing. I was always like, it's 9:30 on the dot. This is my meal 2 for the day. I need to eat this now. If I'm running late, and I'd be stressed. And there's a direct correlation. When you're in a stressed state, your breathing is shallow.
Yep.
You're
Not in rest and digest. You're
not
literally
gonna
in fight or flight.
Yeah, and you're not digesting the food properly. Therefore, you might have nailed your meal timing, but the actual efficiency of absorbing the food and putting it to use is not any good. Whereas if you're, I don't know, even half hour late on your meal, but you're relaxed, it's going to be absorbed well and you're
100%.
better off.
Being in rest and digest is so, 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 so crucial for bodybuilding, recovery, mindset, life, business, everything. Like, the more you can be in rest and digest, the better. The less you can be in fight and flight, the better. And we get ourselves in fight or flight freaking out about the little things that do not need to be little, do not need to be such big things. They can just stay little things. And then the more that you can let those things go and let those things ease up, the more you're going to be in rest and digest and the better you're going to function. Actually, really great analogy. Shioni, my beautiful injector who does all my Botox, said it. She said that bodybuilding sort of seemed like for a long time, bodybuilding was the sun and I was just a planet orbiting the sun. And she said now the bodybuilding is like a part of the solar system, but you have also like Jupiter and Venus and all these other things of like relationships, business, the podcast, your mindset, your self-development. And so you've got all of these other planets orbiting around the sun as well. And now it's not just like one, two, this like just these two things. There's like all of these other multiple parts.
Yeah. And that just lets you just become your true self. Like, instead of trying to fit into that, again, that mold of bodybuilding being everything, you're able to let all the other pieces flow. You're becoming your true self. That leads to, I guess, just more flow in life, more peace. More peace leads to better progress. Boom.
Have you ever felt I guess I'm like an overthinker when it comes to a lot of the things. And so when I think about like what we've just been talking about, how we've sort of opened up to more of ourselves, we're not just Morgan and Callum, the bodybuilders, like that's literally all we were. I overthink it all. I think of all the pros, I think of all the cons, I think of all the things that have felt good, but I think about all the things that have felt bad as well. And have you ever felt like fear, or has it felt confronting?
Yes, at first. At first, I think when I first went through a point of being like, oh, there's more to life than just bodybuilding. Yes, I love it, but I want to also allow room for other things. I was sort of like, I'm going to progress less. But then after breaking it down, like we said before, if we look at the grand scheme of things, we're in the best spot ever. So that's got to be saying something. Like, that's like a reminder. Yes, at first you sort of feel that weird guilt or fear of losing your progress. But if you look back on it, it's like, oh, wow, I've put less pressure on and I'm in a better spot. So
What about if we don't think about progress? What about your sense of like your place in the world?
yeah, I guess through being less tense, I've realized my true purpose for it all. And I think we almost spoke a little about it on the last podcast, but my purpose used to be, I want to win. I want to win gold medals because I want to be the best. And now it's the complete opposite. I want to win. Yes, I want to do really well at everything I do, but not for my own ego, but for the serving of others. Like, with what we do, we have a platform that we can either inspire people, we can help people, whether it be our clients through improving their lives or anyone watching who might take some sort of lesson from what we do. Like and I think you're similar too, my main purpose for what I do is using my gifts and my visions of what I want to achieve for the greater good rather than just making myself feel good. Because really, you achieve something, you win your pro card. 5 days later, you're like, whatever, who cares? Whereas you do it with other people, I don't know about you, but is there anything more fulfilling than when you see that you've helped either heal someone, inspire someone, uplift someone, make someone feel loved, seen?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, and I think like that's where we circle back to said at the start of the podcast, do I have any pressure for this comp? And there's no pressure for this comp at all. I have no the win for me is the fact that I get to take my family along with me. I have no pressure because they are going to see me if I win or if I lose or if I come right in the middle. Through my parents' eyes, I'm going to be the same. Like they're not going to look at me any different, win or lose. And so there's no pressure there. And the real win for me and the reason why I feel like it's going to be a success regardless is the fact that my parents get to travel the world and be in different countries because of what I'm doing. And the fact that I get to also inspire everybody here. And it's like it feels scary doing these kind of podcasts where I feel like I open up more and more and more. And part of me does feel a little bit like, oh, I'm not this tough, at first it was, I'm not Morgan, the tough, strict bodybuilder. And now it's like, oh no, I'm now not Morgan, the mentally strong girl who's got it all figured out. But by sharing that I don't have it all figured out, I feel like that's giving me meaning, and that people are going to feel, hopefully they listen to this and feel less alone in the fact that they also might not feel like they've got it figured out.
No one has it figured out. And as much as it seems like it, that's why like podcasts are great, because people I look up to. Example, Chris Bumstead on that recent one we watched. Like I look up to him like, wow, he's got it all together. Well, and then you listen to his story, no, he doesn't, and that's comforting to know the people you look up to, they don't have it figured out, so you don't have to have it figured out. As long as you're just sort of able to just go with the flow and put in your best efforts, that's where things will figure themselves out. Really.
Yeah, that's it. Nobody has it figured out, and I think when you look at everybody else, they're all figuring it out, but they're all putting on the front. And we can all, as a collective, be a little bit better in like saying like, hey, I also don't have it figured out.
No one does.
And I think the more that we can open that conversation up, and even just talking to your friends, like one of the biggest things that we have learned this prep specifically, just in this last few weeks specifically, is like communicate how you're feeling. Like even if you just I'm sure if you went to your friend and you said like, Callum, I look at you and I feel like you are just nailing everything. I really am struggling. I don't feel like I've got my shit together. I can 100% guarantee you your friend will be like, you know what, Morgan? Oh my God, I feel the same about you. I don't have it figured out and I feel like you are nailing it. Yeah. And it's the same like within our relationship and the communication point of like, I didn't say how I was feeling, like, oh my God, I feel like I'm struggling a little bit to you. And then you sort of didn't say how you were feeling about how you felt. And we both were like, wait, as soon as we talked about it, we were like, wait, we both are feeling the exact same thing.
Yeah. That's the, well, the background, we may as well just tell the whole story, really. Prep, as everyone knows, like takes your energy away. Your deep prep, you pretty much become personality-wise a shell of your normal self, which is normal. And the deeper you get into prep, I've been able to see it in you, because this is the first time one of the first times really you've done a deep prep, and I haven't been in prep with you, so I can tell the contrast.
It's like the first proper time, really.
Yeah, so I can see the contrast, whereas normally I'm in prep with you, so we're both like low on energy and we just whatever. But this time around, like I can see it more, and the deeper you get into prep, the more I can see it. And in a sense, I think if I'm not careful, it can be contagious. And I'd prefer it be I give you contagious energy rather than you give me, I guess, like the
Slow.
lower energy from
Yeah.
giving you prep. But as I got deeper in, like we could sort of see it, the weeks went by, we were less communicative. Is that a word? Communicative?
So
I hope so. It is now.
we were
We
communicating.
communicated less. We were less present with each other. And the main reason was because I think I was sort of stepping back, trying to give you space so that you could do your thing, and also give myself space, because it does sometimes become draining being around people who are just low on physical energy from prep. And I was doing it with the intention of really just giving you space and letting you do your thing. But you could sort of pick up on the fact that I was more reserved. You felt stressed by it. I didn't tell you the reason why I was sort of stepping back. And it led to you becoming aware of it and me almost sort of counterbalancing that with becoming even more reserved, because I'm like, she's really uptight. I just need to give her space and I need my own space. And then as soon as we sort of just mentioned it to each other, it was like a release for you, because you're like, he doesn't hate me. He's just trying to give me space. And it was a release for me because I could tell you, hey, your energy, like I can sense it and it's feeling, I need a bit of space every now and then, because
Yeah, the double-edged sword of you giving me space because I was tense was making me tense because there was space.
and we can't read each other's mind.
No, and that's the thing. Like, you can't read each other's mind. And when it comes to, especially when one person is in prep and the other person isn't, like, there is such a discrepancy in the two people's energies. Like, it is, I don't know if discrepancy is the right word, but it's so different. It's so vastly different. And it's really, it can be, you're so right in the sense that, like, the people you are around, you absorb their energy 100%. And so it is really tricky when you are the one that's got the energy and there's one that doesn't have energy, because you're like, oh my God, like the vibes in here are low. But like the person who doesn't have the energy, probably one doesn't even realize. That's the thing. They don't realize that's what's going on at all. And they just don't have the energy to give the energy. That's the hard thing.
Yeah.
But I think like with us, it really led to a big gap in us. There was a lot of distance in us. And I think as soon as we opened up about how we were feeling, the gap just dissipated straight away. Like we could sense that it was like going apart, and that was making me really stressed out. I was feeling super stressed out about it. But then as soon as we just sort of said, oh my gosh, like I feel like what did I say? I feel unsupported. And you said, I'm giving you space. And I'm like, that's what is going on here?
Well, communication just answers every question. That's the thing. Like prep teaches you, in a prep setting, you need to communicate, but really any setting you need to communicate, because you never really know, because we can't read each other's mind. My mindset was like, I'm going to give you space. I'm not going to, I guess, tell you that I'm needing space for myself as well, because I don't want to put the burden on you. But by me doing that,
Stressed me out.
it stressed you out. Whereas if I just said it, you'd be like, okay, we'll find a solution. And
Yeah.
communication.
100%. I think like, yeah, it's super crucial. And that's one thing that we've, I think, just learned a lot in this last little bit. And I think when I was moping a little bit. We've already talked about that in the podcast today. We don't need to go on it again, but I needed a little bit of like that reset. Like I needed that, and I needed that with you as well. So I think that that's really important as well. Like just to say to somebody like, hey, I'm struggling, and like I probably didn't even tell you that I was struggling. You just probably thought, fuck, she's being a grump. But like in my head, I'm like, I'm just really going through a really hard time right now. But like I didn't say that, and you didn't say it either. And so you just thought I was being a grumpy bitch, and I just thought, oh my God, I'm like really struggling. But as soon as as soon as I said to you, like, look, I'm actually having a really hard time mentally or whatever it is, then you can actually give me the support or what I need, rather than guessing as well. I think that's really important.
Something I notice is that sometimes I don't communicate until I feel like I have the answers to then communicate it. And sometimes that leads to me delaying telling you how I feel, like in this case. Whereas you don't have to know the answers to communicate, because generally once you do communicate how you
get
feel,
answers.
the answers just like present themselves.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
that's like journaling. Like that's why
Yeah.
journaling is so freaking good for you, because when you don't know what's going on in your head, as soon as you start putting it out, pen and paper, it comes out.
Yeah.
And you can ask her, like, you can start a journaling session with no fucking clue. Like your thoughts can be all like tangled, and then you can finish that with everything unraveled. It's the exact same with communicating. 100%.
Yeah, it's funny how it works. I think because
Yeah.
your mind just has, it can sort of try and do a million things at once. But when you speak, you know, say one word at a time, and then it just simplifies it. You're like, answers
Yeah.
are right in front of me.
That's it. That's it. So, New Zealand Pro this weekend.
Saturday.
Saturday, New Zealand. We fly in 2 days.
Yep.
So this comes out on Monday. We fly. Oh no, yeah, we fly out on Wednesday, and we've got a couple bikinis. I haven't decided what I'm going to do with my hair.
Have you announced what colour are you wearing yet?
No, that's a surprise.
That's a surprise.
That's going to be a proper surprise. So you guys will have to wait and see what color. I put a poll on my Instagram, and actually the one that was the highest guess. Oh, yeah, there was lots of people guessed lots of different colors actually, which is really interesting. But New Zealand Pro, I'm excited. And then we've got 3 weeks after that, we've got the Japan Pro. And then that will be the end of the season for me. And this is my pro debut. It's been 2.5 years since I've stepped on stage. And a lot has happened in the 2.5 years. A lot of growth, a lot of excitement, a lot of good things has happened, a lot of low moments. But overall, it's been a pretty big journey.
Yeah.
I think overall this prep, managing business, managing the podcast, managing relationships, managing my happiness and my sense of self. It's brought a lot of challenges, but it's also been the best headspace that I could possibly be in.
Done well.
I've progressed in my business. I haven't last prep, I can vividly remember writing in my journal that I'm actively and purposefully neglecting every other area of my life. Like last prep, I let my business go completely to nothing. My relationships, I didn't have any friends. I had no friends, pretty much. Me and you were solid, but we were both in our bodybuilding hustling grind, very much so. There was not a lot of joy outside of bodybuilding at all. There was nothing that made me feel confident in myself other than bodybuilding. I had no sense of self at all. And that got me, like I can remember saying, okay, I'm going to give that all away for bodybuilding. And it served its purpose. It got me to achieve my pro card in my second ever season. It got me to have the success that I had. But this prep's been completely different. I've chosen a different version of success. My version of success now isn't medals. It's joy and purpose and passion and energy and intention in my life. And I've chosen a different route for this prep. And maybe on paper, on the scoreboard, I don't know what that's going to display, a win or not or whatever. But to me, that's not what, like, I have chosen a different version of success for this prep.
Yeah. We're relying on your joy from within rather than seeking joy from external. And that's the real version of success, isn't it?
100%. And that's not to say that that's the right way. There's no right or wrong. There is no one way that is best for any particular person. It's what's best for you right now. When I won my pro card and I gave everything to my bodybuilding prep and it was like my be all and end all, that was my success. That was my win. That was exactly what I set out to do, and I achieved that. This prep has been completely different. I've set out to have a life and have balance and have a sense of purpose outside of prep, and I have achieved that. And I think regardless of what phase you are in, you need to focus on that. Focus on your values and what you deem a success. You need to decide what is success. What does success mean to me? Chase that. Do not chase what everybody else is telling you. Do not chase what the other person is doing. Do not chase what your partner is doing. You need to decide what your version of success is, and you need to chase that and be all in on that. And don't get FOMO for the other thing. Don't feel guilt for it. Don't feel shameful. Don't feel like you should be doing it one certain way just because Morgan is having balance in her prep.
Make your own rules.
You make your own rules. And like, remember that if the word should is in your vocabulary, you probably you should probably rethink that, because who is telling you to do it one way? There's no rules. There's no rules when it comes to that. And I think like that's the biggest takeaway from this conversation right now, is like what I want you guys listening to understand is that there is no right or wrong. If you chase your goals with 1000% effort and that's what you want, do it. If you want balance, do it. If you want material success, chase it. You've just got to do what makes you happy, and you need to know what your values are, and you need to chase and live in alignment with your values and nothing else.
Yeah, definitely.
That is it. That is it. Well, guys, thank you so much for coming along this journey. Fuck.
You made it.
Oh my God, a podcast in peak week. I did not think I was going to get through that.
An oxy shred and just having someone to bounce some ideas off has gotten you through it.
Having a good old chat. I'm grateful for you, Cal. I'm grateful for this whole journey with you. I'm grateful that you're here with me today. I'm grateful that you're here with me every single day. I'm grateful that you've pushed me to be my best. I'm grateful that you introduced me into the world of bodybuilding, because if it wasn't for you and it wasn't for the world of bodybuilding, I wouldn't be sitting in this podcast seat today, because every single thing that we have done in our lives has led us up to this exact moment, and I wouldn't take any of it back. I wouldn't change any of it. I wouldn't. And I hope that everybody listening can do the same.
We complement each other. That's how it should be. You make me better, hopefully make you better.
You do.
Win-win.
You do. I'm so grateful for you. I'm so grateful for everyone listening. Guys, I am so fucking grateful for you. This podcast has given me so much purpose and meaning, and I really, really value this podcast so much. I'm so grateful that you're here with me every single week to share the highs, to share the lows, to share the lessons, and the fact that I don't have it figured out. I don't have it all figured out, and I hope that we all can just feel together in that. But if you like this episode, please share it with somebody you love. Please let us know if you liked this episode. Share it on your stories, and
stay tuned for the pro debut.
Stay tuned for my fucking pro debut. The secret is out. New Zealand Pro. Keep an eye on my Instagram stories. This is so exciting. New Zealand, 3 weeks later, Japan. I will be. Oh, also, I bought a YouTube camera. I bought a camera.
Film and document it.
I'm starting YouTube. So when this comes out, there probably will be a YouTube episode coming out in the next few days as well. So keep your eye out for that. And yeah, we'll talk to you all in the next episode. Bye.